do some, like, a big entry, shall we? Yes, yes. This is one side of a tunnel. Great. We're going to jump right into this, folks. I don't know about you, but there is a lot of energy in Denver today, and it's fantastic. So we're going to have, I was telling Ben and Rob before, that we'll make this kind of a fireside chat, but given it's so hot, it's more like an air-conditioned comfort session. So if you guys aren't familiar with FinArt, we want to tell you about that first, but that's definitely best coming from Ben and Rob. Will you guys tell us about FinArt? What do you guys do? Because this is a convergence of manufacturing and design, which I think is awesome, because those are two of the main tracks in Denver Startup Week.
So FinArt has been going for about 7 years, and we are a design-build furniture company. We do everything from small pieces of coffee tables and credenzas all the way up to full restaurant build-outs. And we focus a lot on a industrial modern design element, and we incorporate a lot of different materials from a lot of new, MDFs and paints and lacquers, all the way down to reclaimed airplane wings, conveyor belts, salvage wood, things like that. And yeah, so our scope is pretty broad.
Who's familiar with FinArt in the room here? Good, a lot of people. So if you're not, we want to make this a meaningful session. So if you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, we're hoping to translate furniture building, design into what you do and make this super interactive. So while I'm going to try to shepherd us through this conversation, if anyone has any questions, interruption is the catalyst to a really good conversation. So feel free to interrupt and raise your hand and chime in. But we do want your questions on the mic, so there'll be a mic getting passed around. So try to get that mic in front of you when you ask the questions. So when meeting you guys earlier, you guys grew up in Vail, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And did the mountains inspire you guys in terms of the creation of your company, or do they come out in your art in one way or another?
Not really.
Okay. So you bailed from the mountains.
Well, we went to college down in Boulder. Rob and I didn't actually go to school for building furniture or anything like that. I don't know if this, yeah. We started building furniture because we enjoyed doing it. And
right.
So we were doing it for ourselves, gifts for friends, things like that. And then it started getting out of hand a little bit mentally. And we thought that this might be an opportunity for us to let's just see how far we can take it. Mm-hmm. And so Rob and I first moved to Denver, we started a separate company. And it was a good learning thing. And this is all about the young entrepreneur thing. We started a company called Capsize Design, which, as far as the foreshadowing with the name, it was just horrible. It went down bad. We hired too many friends from the get-go. We were cutting the pie in 4 separate ways. The workload, we were just building whatever for anybody just so that we could do it and have a good time. And we were struggling, and it was hard, and we quit our other jobs, and we were trying to do this full-time. So
it was still furniture.
It was still furniture. And so, but we were building. Someone would have their own design, or their idea, and then we would make it. And maybe it was a really bad idea, but we would still make it. And so, with that, and struggling, and we were having side projects and things we didn't like. Rob and I didn't have the gumption to actually fire our friends and carry on, so we just quit. And so everybody ended up just kind of backing off and doing their own thing for a little while. And all the while, so Rob and I, we were bartending in the evenings so we could build furniture throughout the day. And so we took a year off from Capsize Design, preceding FinArt, so we could practice new techniques, learn new things, and kind of more or less what we wanted to focus on our business and the furniture we liked and see if we could promote our ideas, essentially. And that was
create more of an identity in your company or in your designs, rather than just building to suit other people's ideas.
Exactly. I mean, before we were just
not working.
So we quit the company and let that thing dissolve because a lot of the problem was we weren't building things that we wanted to build and knew how to build. It was just other people's ideas. So in this year break between companies, we really got to focus on learning new techniques and coming up with our own identity of design and figuring out what looked good and what we thought was cool. And then sort of our breakout point, we hosted a furniture show at Fancy Tiger, the clothing store down on South Broadway. And he was gracious enough to let us do that. But the cool thing about that was that it was the first time that we actually got to create a line of like 10, 12 pieces of furniture that no one had any say in it, what it looked like or what it was, except for myself and Ben. So we got to just have full autonomy and control and not having some other guy's idea involved in it. So it was really the brainchild and the startup of this. And from there, people liked it enough. There was a lot of positive energy. And so because of that encouragement from other people, we knew we were on the right track and we knew we were building something that was worthwhile. And so from there, we've taken that idea and just gone away with it.
So I'm in the tech space, and a lot of our clients will start with a similar, they might be building custom solutions for their clients and then later productize their specific product, if you will. So they're not constantly creating something new. And but they might have some, what you might say, initial assets or a code base or something. Did you guys have some assets that you could translate from Capsize after it literally capsized into FinArt? Like for any of you that were at the keynote for Denver Startup Week, Dave McClure, in between F-bombs, was describing how quickly or easily you can start startups these days with access to information and open source and with less money. But you guys are building something tangible. So you guys need assets. You guys need machines. So can you tell us about that, or about how capital intensive you are, or how that plays into your success now?
Well, so with Capsize Design, actually one thing that Rob and I have an idea that we've always had is that we don't like owing people money. And so every time we do a project, we take any earnings from that and then put it back into the company, buy more tools, make it so it'd be easier for us to work. And so in that sense, I mean, we literally started from the ground up and hadn't had to borrow money from anybody. We just...
Awesome. So you bootstrapped the company?
Completely.
Yep.
And that's obviously we work from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then go bartend from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. and then get back up at 9 and go back to work. And so it was overwhelming, but we're so in love with what we do, we had to do it.
Do you guys still bartend now? Do you still need to?
No, it's been a few years that we stopped doing that. And since then, it's been great. So our company, we've actually we've had some opportunities and some success, and so we have 2 more guys that work in our shop with us. And so not only just like making sure that Rob and I could get by financially, pay rent, have girlfriends, now we can actually, other guys' livelihoods are on our back too, and so we're enjoying it. And so we grew appropriately. We didn't throw it all in at once and just go crazy there.
Right.
And so.
And as far as the machinery and all that, that's our main asset as far as any sort of monetary thing. We started. Ben and I got an apartment in Denver together, just doing whatever jobs, and started building furniture for fun. We borrowed his dad's belt sander and a hand saw that we found in the backyard, and we started making couches and coffee tables. And then one thing led to the next.
So your first tool was a belt sander?
Actually, that was borrowed. We found a rusty old handsaw in the backyard and started cutting all of our Home Depot wood up. And
did you keep it?
Yeah, we have.
Is it like your first dollar bill?
Yeah, right. We have both of those.
Good,
absolutely.
But then one thing led to the next, and we got excited, and would save up a little money and buy a tool. We'd raid our dad's garages and take all the tools they weren't using, and slowly just built it up. And then, now we're actually affording to buy real tools and real machines. But it's all been cash flow, so we've never taken out a dollar, and we've been able to have the tools. And our shop, on Friday, we're hosting a thing at our shop if anyone wants to come. But
so FinArt is on First in Calumet, which is near one of our offices at Battery.
Yep.
So First in Calumet there. Mm-hmm. A little plug on where that's at, and it's Friday. When?
11 o'clock, 11 to noon. And so our shop it's by no means the spaceship shop that a lot of people have with everything's just they bought this whole package of tools. We have this random selection of tools from Lord knows when, but it works. And one thing as far as starting up is the tools do not make the furniture. You know, it's you can have the best tools in the world and make the ugliest furniture. So we're a big proponent of that, and it you know, we've made really cool things with other tools, but it really, you know, the better the tools, the better the furniture in quality and quickness, but it doesn't translate that easily.
Yeah, I was just about to use the word translate in terms of, for our audience, translating that idea of the tools don't make the furniture with whatever businesses or pursuits you guys might have as well, as much as busting your ass until, you know, 4 a.m. bartending and all that stuff in order to make your dream come alive. So I'd like to hit a little bit on the topic of quality, because I think quality is important to all of us, whether it's our relationships or within our companies or within our product or within the experiences that we try to create for our employees or our clients. So can you guys tell us about the importance of quality for you in your design or with your customer experience?
I would say in terms of quality, our furniture is an extension of ourselves, and we're giving our personality, our Rob and Ben. I mean, we're giving them. So we more or less have to come up with our best foot forward and our best quality out there in that sense. To where, whether or not, if you meet a deadline and you can't extend that, that means you have to work extra hard or overnight or things like that, or even talk to clients, work together, even if. Because you can't deliver something that's 80% or something that's subpar. It has to be fantastic at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes that's stressful, and sometimes that takes longer, and sometimes we end up having setbacks because something happened on a project or a finish came out poorly or something like that. And that's one thing with our clients, that we work so directly with them where they're there every step of the day in that sense. So we keep in communication with them, send photos, have them over to the shop, update them on all of that, so that there's nothing in the dark. So
the buying experience is very immersive for most of your clients.
We end with hugs at the end of everything in that sense.
Good.
So
Yeah. And well, defects are a part of everything, whether it's in a product. I'm in the people business, and lives change with people, and that might be construed as a defect in quality. And you have to own up to that and fix it and help it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And about the quality, what I was going to say is the first big project we did as far as an installation in a restaurant was a place called Linger, which is pretty popular up in the Highlands.
You guys know Linger? A lot of people must know Linger. Yep.
And so we were lucky enough to be able to bid on the project to do all the tables upstairs in their bar. And, you know, we were really excited to do it. And the budget was just absolutely nothing, but we took it anyway. And because we wanted to make them as cool as we could, we literally lost money on the whole project. But the whole time we knew that if the quality's there and we know this place is going to be successful, that we're investing in ourselves. Because, I mean, we had to keep bartending just to make money and pour it into the shop to make this project happen. But then we got phone calls after that about, well, I'm opening a restaurant, why don't you help me out? And then the projects really started rolling in. So that was a big push for us. And we never let the quality decline, even though the money wasn't there. Those things shouldn't matter. You know, if you take a project, even if you're losing money on it, make it quality, and so that your portfolio is perfect along the way.
So was that your first sort of big deal?
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings up my brain is going with like defining moments. That must have been a very defining moment, as much as calling it quits and sinking capsize. And maybe this is a defining moment, sitting up here and talking to the audience during Denver Startup Week. I mean, would you say so?
Did
you ever imagine this?
That feels good. This is excellent.
Good. That's awesome.
And when it comes to projects to restaurants and things like that, so we've never wanted to limit ourselves or be pigeonholed into restaurant building, essentially. So we've done boutique hotels. This last summer, we had an opportunity with Fairmont Elementary School as a part of the DCIS unit. And so the principal came to us along with I can't remember the name of the architect, but on the first floor of the school, we pulled all the lockers out and then ended up building study cabinets and presentation places and art things for the student. Because, I mean, K through 5, you don't need a locker. And so we ended up pulling all that out and doing this other design. So we're kind of making it more of a variety. So we're not just doing restaurant things.
So there was like an application into like an education system.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
A restaurant or a home or something. So we all go around. I just rode my bike down here. It's an old Schwinn Homegrown Pro, built in Durango back in the day, and I love that element of built in Colorado. I wear a Denver shirt. You know, you guys are the essence of Colorado in terms of coming up with, just making your dream come true. Everything's handmade in Colorado. And do you guys have partners that are outside of Colorado, or is all your partners in Colorado too? Or
So everything's made at our shop, just like I said, on First and Calumet. Ben and I are 50-50 partners, so we own the whole company. We've got 2 employees, but almost everything is made in the shop. If it's not made at the shop and we do outsource something, which happens pretty rarely, there's a handful of friends and businesses here in Denver, so nothing even leaves the metro Denver area really as far as construction. So everything's made in-house.
Are materials all from Colorado as well?
For the most part, I mean, when we use plywoods and walnuts and cherries and things like that, those are all from around wherever. But whenever we use reclaimed materials, all the salvage yards are here in Denver. Most of the reclaimed wood is from Denver buildings, although sometimes it's from the Kansas, Nebraska, around.
Yep.
But for the most part, it's all Denver materials. I'd say about 50-50.
So have you guys ever thought about either getting out, one of the 2 of you, or I mean, is this truly like a lifestyle? I mean, can you ever see yourself doing anything else, or
this is,
do you ever want to break up?
When we were getting FinArt and we were still again bartending and projects weren't happening as much, Rob tried to quit twice. And I remember vividly the conversation was like, Rob, dude, if you do that, then what else are you going to do right now? Come on, we're into it. And keeping him on board, and 2 legitimate times. And
those are defining moments as well.
yeah, exactly.
Ben never let me quit, though. I tried and tried, and he wouldn't let me.
You're right. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. And when I was thinking back to that other point.
It should be more like 51-49.
Right.
But
I know.
I'm more the business side, so I didn't let that happen.
Exactly. But thinking about the previous comment you had about, and Rob mentioned about outsourcing. And so when we do outsource, we work with, and he mentioned other friends and other builders around the community and whatnot. And Rob and I, the one thing is that we can't build all of Denver. And so if anyone else is going to be helping us, or when we have projects where we're too busy, we send those off to our buds and all that. Because if these are all other guys and other businesses doing the same thing. There are quite a few furniture companies around town.
Sure.
And we all should be doing it together.
Right.
Like Denver should be built locally here and from guys like us, and no one coming in from LA or anything like that. And so we try and promote our other friends and our other businesses that are maybe so similar to us in one way or another that but it just helps. And,
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
the rising tide lifts all boats.
Right, there's a nice
We come from
community.
a position of abundance. What's good for them is good for you, and they might
Absolutely.
be good medals or something. Or
well, we don't
they
think
might
of them
have
as competition. I mean, it's a pretty tight-knit group of people, and we're all really friends, basically, at the end of the day. And so we try and pass projects along to other people. If we think another furniture maker or, design builder would be better at a project, we'll hand it off to them and just, drink a beer about it. But other than that, let them have it. And
Absolutely.
I would rather it go to a friend of mine or another, competition than have it sent out to some, somebody from LA, like you said.
Right.
Keep it in Denver.
Good.
No offense to LA.
Right. No, understood. Keep it in state. This is Denver Startup Week. So do you guys have any questions? Keep the motor rolling here. Come on. Someone's got a question. Yes, sir. We're going to hand you a mic, though. I'll hand you mine. I don't know where the mic is right now.
Just wondering, in terms of marketing, or is a lot of your business just word of mouth, or people call you? How do you get the word out about what you do?
Yeah, our best marketing tool that we've done, we've never advertised, never done anything like that. Our best marketing tool has been when we started building restaurants and commercial spaces. Like the story I said about with Linger, we got out there and then we actually put a FinArt sticker on every table, so then people started knowing who we are. Then we built the next place and the next place and the next place, and at this point we've probably done 15, 20 restaurants, and a lot of people see the similarities between them. And we've had we just finished a project for a lady that lives downtown, and she ate at like 5 of her favorite restaurants and loved it, and figured out that we did all of them. And then she got a hold of us, found out our phone number and all that. So our best marketing tool is just getting our product out there and just letting the world see it. And if you like it, you like it. And then,
But also, on the other point, too, is because when we didn't have all of our products out there, and then when people started paying attention to us, we live it. I mean, furniture is what we do. And so we talk about it with everybody. And it could be annoying at times in that sense. But this is our life. And so we just share it with everybody. And so it's like, oh, I know those furniture guys about this. And so then people start talking to each other and a sense of positivity about the whole thing. And it just kind of spread, and it got bigger and bigger. And so we're fortunate because of that.
Well, and about that, too, when Ben and I bartended for years, everybody that came to the bar, and was like, what are you drinking? Cool, let me tell you about my furniture business. We just told everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So we spread the word pretty well about that. We actually met our lovely wives bartending back there. So
nice.
It worked out. It was a good time.
It's great. What other questions do we have? Yes?
Where else can we see some of your work around town for the rest of
The question was, where else can we see some of your quality work downtown, or what other restaurants?
We just finished down in Union Station with that new build out. We did Stoic and Genuine, the seafood fish house right there on the left hand side if you're looking at it. Right before that, we finished a brewery up in Gun Barrel between Boulder and Longmont. We've also worked up at Ace on 17th, or we built Old Major last year up on 33rd.
Super notable places there.
Yeah, we did Squeaky Bean on Wine Coop and 15th, I think.
So when you say you did it, what did you complement other pieces of it? You did the
we did
tables?
I guess it depends from project to project. For example, at an Old Major, we did we just us and the architect worked together. We built from the tables to chairs to the walls to the lighting and everything. And then there's other projects where we might do the tables and the bar application and help the owner shop for chairs, because we don't need to be making a buck on that. They can spend their own money in that sense. And so us, when we partner with people, we figure out what our limitations are, and we know when to stop and not try and, I don't know, it's just self-awareness is kind of a thing in that sense. And so we kind of do a little bit of everything with these projects. So, and upcoming things, I mean, we've got
Yes, future plans. What's coming up? What's next for FinArt?
I mean, the big deal for us right now is we have a line of furniture. We've been doing residential stuff, and we ship all around the country these days. And we have a few pieces that are dialed in, so we're going to do kind of more of an online catalog and more or less have a line, essentially. So we can have that, and then all the while do design build projects and things like that. Especially with the showroom we're going to be opening in the front of our shop, just to kind of show a little bit of the kind of what we do that's our brain, and it's not project based, essentially.
Great. So how do you protect those ideas when you start shipping your products around nationally, was the question.
Well, it's a good question. There are artist copyright laws, but I mean, it's only as good as your lawyer to protect them. So really, I mean, our ideas, I mean, there's really not any new designs and new ideas for furniture. It's, taking samples of a lot of different things. But I think what happens is our quality stands out among the rest. We've had pieces in furniture stores before, and we've seen people try and copy our work before, but you can just tell the quality of the finish, the selection of the wood, the joinery, all of those things just can't really compete. And I've yet to see anyone copy us well. So hopefully that's our protection, is quality.
I'm curious. We have, my company has offices at Battery, 621, of course, near you guys, and also Industry, which is in the River North area. Do you guys do office applications or anything commercial?
Yeah, we're going to be working with, we've done some office build-outs. Actually, we did some tables down at Cactus. There's a German transportation company up in Lakewood. We made this gigantic airplane wing conference table for them. Cool. And actually, another fun project, we're going to be working with a new hostel. It's going to be over on 20th and Lawrence, and it's going to be kind of 2 stores, and so we'll do that whole
hostel.
build-up. Yeah, it's going to be kind of another attraction to Denver and bring something a little bit. I mean, when I think hostel, I think when I was traveling around Europe, and it's just this dingy place. But this is going to be a little bit more high-end, so you don't get so much the transient people, but mostly people that want to come in and actually stay there. So we're working with a friend on the design and build-out of that. So we would kind of like to build a little bit of everything, essentially.
Well, and even to retail, we've done up in Boulder the Lon Little shop, and then he started a second one at the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art, and so we built both of those out. Fancy Tiger Clothing on South Broadway, a lot of work for Buffalo Exchange on Broadway. So we like doing retail a lot, just really anywhere to get your name out, and just be able to promote your stuff and build cool stuff. That's
awesome. I think we have one more question right there.
was going to ask, are you guys planning on replicating yourselves to work more on the business, or do you guys really like the production kind of aspect of it?
That's the hard part, is that we should be just, I mean, it's like we talk to other people that we should be on the business side and we should be hiring people out to do all the building, but the problem is that Rob and I, we really like building furniture. In fact, we never really wanted to be businessmen, and we always talk, if we were to win the lottery, that we would still just build furniture for fun and not have to be businessmen, really. So there's a tough balance there for us, and a lot of it too is kind of giving up the idea that I would be putting my hands on building this piece, and then more or less hoping that whoever's working with us can do the same quality job, and that's why we work with all of our other guys that in our shop. And so just being confident with our employees is a big deal, and sometimes you got to just give it up and then let other people do the work too. So.
And as the company grows, we will have to hand off those responsibilities, but the best situation would be actually handing off a lot of the business side of things, because no one likes bookkeeping and taxes and all that. So we're trying to get rid of a lot of that, and so we can actually just design and build fun stuff. And then hopefully, with a line of furniture, have people, in our shop more consistently building that, to where Ben and I can focus on weird, fun stuff.
I just heard an opportunity out there. If any of you are bookkeepers, like Linger was for them, perhaps FinArt could be a great stepping stone for you. So that concludes things here. We heard a lot of great things, being self-aware, the tools don't make, what did we say there? That was so poignant.
Tools don't make the furniture.
The tools don't make the furniture. I love how that translates into so many other areas. And just the resolve that you guys have had in terms of having a failed business that capsized literally, and sticking with each other and not letting each other quit. I mean, these are stories that resonate throughout the week with us at Denver Startup Week. And you guys are awesome. Effing awesome.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, come by Friday. We'll be around. And it's a cool space. So we'd love to have you.
Thank you.
Applause. FinArt.